use. There are issues, Mr. Chair. But the issue on the right-of-way, at least, sir, kaya siya nag-privatize, no? Kasi that should be done by the private entity. Now, if your deadline, if your target completion is 2008, then you start your right-of-way before the 2008. Now, the problem in Mindanao Visayas interconnection was only brought to us, the Ngcp, a year ago, na sinasabi na may problem dun sa golf course. Actually, the solution was very simple. Just transfer the towers or transfer the holes. And it was resolved with the interagency. Na-resolve naman siya kaagad. Hindi na pumunta sa korte to yun. But these are problems that can be resolved. That it is not in the, hindi naman yan obligasyon ng DOE, but we do go beyond our responsibility para matapos lang. Kasi everybody wins naman and everybody loses if it doesn't get constructed. Now, the second thing, Mr. Chair, is ang right-of-way issues kasi, we regularly write the Supreme Court to give priority to the cases of Ngcp. We've done that, and it has, as you see, there was better progress in these past years. Pero, Mr. Chair, sometimes ang right-of-way nila, mga 5 taon din yung tagal eh. Baka di ko alam paano nila ginagawa sa legal nila, but I don't think in lawyers it takes about 5 years. Now, the third part, Mr. Chair, is the applications of eminent domain is under the name of Ngcp. It should be under Transco. Kung government kasi yan, iba yung process and faster. So, mangyayari ngayon, there will be a private negotiation pa between Ngcp and the landowner. So that takes time. That's really the part that takes longer. And then the legal process, mas madali na sana yun kasi we can assist. We can certify that this is a project of national significance, and then it will be a faster process. So there are nuances in the franchise and in the concession agreement that can improve. But also there are provisions that are already there that kung sundin lang ng Ngcp, siguro mas mabilis yung right-of-way process natin. But yes, again, we are quite thankful for Ngcp for finishing it. Kahit delayed man siya, basta natapos lang. Although it had a major impact on the...
Mr. Chair.
Very much the Honorable
Mr. Chair.
The Chair recognizes the Senior Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Don Gonzales Jr. of the 3rd District of Pampanga. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Chairman.
And from the 2nd District of Antipolo City, the Honorable Romy Ako. Welcome. And of course, si Ramon Rodriguez Gutierrez of One Rider. Welcome, Rog. We now proceed to the next speaker, the Honorable Presley.
The
Honorable
yes,
Senior, the Honorable Stella Kibo. The Honorable, meron nga palang interjection na si the Honorable Kimbo.
Interjection?
Yes.
With respect to the 3% franchise tax, I heard Chair De Malanta say that compliant naman po ang Ngcp. However, based on our hearing last week, na nandun po kasi ako, at narinig ko po si Chair De Malanta mismo ang nagsabi na meron pong problema mula 2011 hanggang 2021, hanggang 2022. Kasi po, maliwanag naman po sa batas na yun lang naman po ang katangi-tanging buwis na binabayad po ng Ngcp. So yun po, franchise tax in lieu of all other taxes. Ibig sabihin po, hindi na po kailangan magbayad ng income tax, etc. ang Ngcp. Therefore, hindi po dapat pinapass on to the consumers itong franchise tax. Kaya nga lang po, mula 2011 hanggang 2022, itong 3% franchise tax ay pinas on po sa ating consumers in the form of higher prices. Yun po ang naging finding ng ERC at yun po ay nireport po sa amin ni Chair De Malanta. Kaya po, tinanong po namin sa kanya, in which case, hindi ba dapat may in effect, kumbaga po, may utang ang Ngcp sa kanyang customers in effect. Or this is something that we can actually debate and discuss. us. And tinanong namin kung magkano po ang kabuuang amount na yan. Ang sabi po ni Chair Di Balanta, if my memory serves me right, is 204 billion. Or sinabi ni Chair Joey, how much is that?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
With your permission, for the franchise tax, based on our calculations alone,
Please
Mr.
speak
Chair,
closer to the microphone, Chair.
on franchise tax, based on the information only that we have, because we also recommended that BIR weigh in also on the issue because they have the primary documents. It's 21 billion from 2016 to 2022. The 204, ma'am, is on the reset po yun. So just on franchise tax, 24.
When
21, sorry. 21 billion.
so from 2016,
26.
from 2011
We don't
to
have
2015.
the information, Mr. Chair. That's why we recommended that BIR.
So it's at
also-
least 21 billion pesos. So, yun lang po, Mr. Chair.
So, in short, they're not compliant.
Exactly, Mr. Chair.
That's your point. They're
Yes,
not
Mr.
compliant. And they still owe government.
Or they were not compliant from 2011 up to 2022 with respect to the not passing of the 3% franchise tax to the consumers.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Stella Kimbo, the Senior Vice Chair of the Committee on Appropriations. So now, the Honorable Presley De Jesus.
Thank you,
Sir,
Mr.
point of order, Mr. Chairman.
The Honorable Dan Fernandez.
Do we have a list of those who will interpellate? Para at ang 2 oras na po akong nakaupo
Ay,
dito,
wala.
hindi pa po ako natatawag. And I'm
I'm
number
so
3
sorry.
in the list,
The
Mr.
Honorable
Chairman.
Presley, I'm sorry.
Hindi, pero kung maikli lang po yan, it's okay.
Mr. Chair, I have only quick question to Yusek.
So, may sila naman yung sa'yo, no?
Yes, may
The
sila.
Honorable Dan Fernandez will yield to you. The Honorable Presley De Jesus. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Dan. Thank you. Again, Mr. Chair, maraming salamat sa inyo. No? I would like to ask Yusek Garin, no? with the good presentation kanina, you mentioned that there's couple of delays, no? Marami, di ba? So, yung mga delays ba yun, ano yun, is it caused by the NGCP alone for not acting on time o maraming, remember, karamihan dyan, right of ways. We know that, Mr. Chair, right of way yan. Ang tanong ko, ilan ba dyan yung na sa korte na ngayon, kaya hindi nagpo-proceed yung mga ganyang projects? Meron bang ganon?
Mr. Chair, in the major projects, parang tapos na yata if there's a TRO or anything, no? Pero sa right of way, meron pa. Also, there are cases that have pending ERC approval also. So it's a combination of everything, Mr. Chair. Like yung sa Panay, there's an issue with the owner and also an issue with the DNR. Kaya iba-iba yung reason, Mr. Chair. But the major ones, parang wala namang court case na present because ayaw ng owner, Mr. Chair.
So, in short, Mr. Chair, Yusek, no, hindi lang ito solely fault ng NGCP. Just to make it clear. Kasi sabi mo, may court, may pending sa court, at the same time, is under the review of ERC. So, it's a culmination of all, it's a combination na lahat. So, kasi, ang masama rito, I'm not trying to defend NGCP, no, we're trying to level the playing field. Kasi ang dating, laro, maraming nanonood sa atin, kasalanan ng NGCP kung bakit maraming delays. But straight from the horse's mouth, sabi mo, may problema ERC, may pending at may mga court pang pending din sa korte. Am I right?
Mr. Chair, those are the reasons bakit nadidelay ang NGCP. But those are also their responsibilities to procure, Mr. Chair, based on their concession agreement and then franchise. Responsibility niyan as a transmission network provider and as a system operator. Historically, if you know that it's 2 years to get the right of way, then you apply it way back before the construction, the start of construction. So that is a matter of project planning, Mr. Chair. I don't know if how NGCP does that, but just to explain, Mr. Chair, once we focus on a project with NGCP and we go check what are the problems, it gets resolved naman, Mr. Chair. But we cannot handle all the problems naman. We just focus on the major. Halimbawa, Mindanao, Batangas, Mindoro interconnection. We had an audience with the governor and then introduced NGCP and DOE because they never got the appointment with the DNR or the LGU. So we facilitated kaya ibig sabihin, these are not problems that are impossible to resolve. Kaya naman.
Yeah.
Nadidelay lang talaga sila.
Would you also agree, pag nagbago ang gobyerno, for example, the former secretary ng DOE, meron siyang gustong transmission development plan that was presented by NGCP. Now, papasok Secretary Tilya na nababago yung kanilang plan. Is there a chance na nangyari yon? Or kasi it was mentioned by Chairman Di Malanta na puro plano, bago-bago. So, wala bang continuity to? Na kung ano since lahat naman tayo, this is very important, no? Everyone needs the transmission line in order for our generation na magamit lang yung transmission line. But the problem is, at the end of the day, ang mga consumers ang talo dito. You even mentioned that. So, we conduct this hearing. Ano ba talagang purpose natin? Pabayin ng presyo ng kuryente? Or we just blame one element of the energy family? Remember, NGCP is one of the elements lang yan. Nandyan transmission, generation, distribution, even the IMAP, nandyan lahat. Kompleto tayo. So, pag ito lang gusto natin pabayin ng presyo ng kuryente, ay kailangan lahat dito ma-involve, no? Right now, we have a motto proprio with regard to NGCP. I agree with Kong Rupos, ano ba talagang purpose natin dito? No? Just the franchise ba? Paano natin tulungan? Remember, we're here in age of legislation. I think it's high time to review the IPIRA law. No? Kasi ang IPIRA law is the problem. No? Do you agree with me, Yusek? Kasi nandun lahat. You just follow the IPIRA law.
Mr. Chair, with all due respect, the IPIRA is actually being reviewed and there is a first phase of revisions. Two actually, PISAM
because
and ERC.
Kong and I are part of the
Yes, Mr.
revision of IPIRA law. Kasama kayo ni Chairman. So, kailangan natin ayusin to.
Yes,
no?
sir.
My point is, in age of legislation, kailangan makapagpasa tayo ng batas. So, any suggestion that this committee will recommend sa Kongreso na mapagpasa kami ng batas kung paano mapabilis yung paggagawa ng transmission lang. Yun lang, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, we were called here for the franchise itself, Mr. Chair. So the decision whether there will be another law or there will be a review of the franchise, hindi na po ako congressman, I leave it to your wisdom.
Mr. Chair, anytime
Mr.
you appear
Chair.
in committee hearing, in age of legislation lagi to.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair. So, kailangan natin magpasa
Mr.
na
Chair.
talagang batas na talagang nararapat dito. So,
Mr.
we cannot
Chair.
name blames.
Mr. Chair, can we follow our rules and proceed with the list of interpellators with due courtesy to our good and very honorable colleague, Honorable President Jesus? Meron kasing mga nakalista, Mr. Chair, and
Yes,
we can interject if it is related to the direct question. But I believe we have to go back to the
Yes,
list
the Honorable,
to put order.
the Honorable Garin, it was really Prestige de Sousa, the Honorable Prestige de Sousa.
Ma'am, nagpalista
Siya ho-
ako.
siya ho talaga ho nakalista ko.
1:11
The Honorable Dan
PM.
Fernandez yielded to the Honorable
Yeah.
Prestige.
Mr. Chair,
Nagpalista ako kanina pa nga ako
So,
eh.
it was
Yeah,
Honorable
I
Prestige.
understand, but I thought, Mr. Chair, the next interpellator was supposed to be Congressman Rufus, and then
Tapos na ho. Tapos na ho si Honorable Rufus.
and then the next interpellator will be.
The Honorable Prestige de Jesus. That's
Okay,
why he
and
has
the
the
next
floor.
is,
The Honorable Dan
thought somebody
Fernandez.
nag-yield po si Kong Dan, Mr.
Yes.
Chair. Yeah, because my understanding,
Well,
Mr.
I
Chair,
yield
is you can.
for a couple of questions, no? But
Yes.
not for long.
Yeah, but well,
Yes.
just to put things in the, my
Yes.
apologies, Mr. Chair, but just to put things in the proper perspective, I believe if you are listed as an interpellator, you cannot just yield it to somebody else unless there's an interjection. With that, Mr. Chair, maybe if the Honorable Fernandez will yield his time to the Honorable Presley De Jesus, we don't have any objection.
Yes, he did. The Honorable Prestige, proceed.
I think
Or your short money, are you done? Honorable?
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Thank you very much, Honorable
Now,
President.
I want to be my name be listed in the second round.
Okay,
Just
thank
to
you.
make sure that my name will be recalled.
Thank you. You're now
Thank
on the
you.
second round, so that's clear. The Honorable Dan Fernandez.
Okay, are you going to say something?
Yes, point of order lang, Mr. Chair.
Because nagpalitan na ho sila eh. Ang dapat na una si Dan kay Presti, but because kay Honorable Presti, so nagpalitan na ho sila. Sila ho talaga magkasunod. Sila ho yung magkasunod. The Honorable Dan Fernandez.
Mr. Chair, with the indulgence of Congressman Dan, I have a point of order myself.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
What's your point of order?
The motion for the motu proprio is a motion that I filed. And it seems that it's been alluded to twice by our colleagues. I would have appreciated if they had objections to the motu proprio motion, they would have showed it in proper writing or opposed it. But insofar as it was able to garner enough support, then that is why we're pushing through with the motu proprio hearing to review the franchise of NGCP. The very nature why I pushed for this motion, Mr. Chair, is so that we can look into whether or not, number one, NGCP is complying with the franchise that has been provided to them by Congress. Number two is also to look into the efficiency of NGCP with regards to their performance in providing electricity to the Filipino people. So I don't think if there is a question of the wisdom behind the motu proprio inquiry into the franchise, I would have welcomed an opposition in my motion. But to push it forward during the hearing proper, I think it would just be proper, Mr. Chair, that we continue on with what is on the agenda, following what we have already approved as the agenda for the committee hearing, just so that we cannot lose track and focus of the very purpose of why we're here and waste time while our guests are here in front of us. And I'm sure they're also waiting for their opportune time to discuss this matter, Mr. Chair.
JJ Suarez. Definitely, this motu proprio hearing followed all the rules and with the permission of the committee on rules that this be done. So we have enough votes for this. So the Honorable Dan Fernandez recognized. Silence requested.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman. And the very reason why we are here right now ay yung sinabi ni Congressman Presley is talagang maibaba yung presyo ng transmission rate. And that's the reason why we've been fighting this for so many years. As a matter of fact, noong 2019 pa, pinaglalaban na po natin itong reset na kung saan ay 2011 ang last recorded na rate reset. And it's been like 13 years. Hanggang ngayon, wala pa po. And that's the reason why we're asking why. Di ba, bakit hindi nagkakaroon ng panibagong set ng rates para sa transmission? And kung mapapababa natin ang lahat ng mga building blocks that the ERC is now evaluating through the RAAC and the NCL, like the return on capital, the CAPEX, the opening RUB, the regulatory asset base, and even the depreciation on the capital, on the return of capital, at even the operating and maintenance expenses, I'm pretty sure ito pong ating pong hearing na to magkakaroon ng positibong resulta sa pagbaba ng kuryente ng transmission rate ng ating pong bansa. Now, magsimula po muna tayo dito, Mr. Chairman. Ang tatanungin ko po ay ang NGCP regarding doon po sa inyong IPO na in the last hearing, I mentioned about this IPO. Ano po ba yung legal obligation ng NGCP regarding the public offering na binabanggit ng provision ng ating pong batas?